a shot to do what?
Man, football being back, Bert being back, the feels were immaculate, the vibes were high. Nothing bad happened. Like it was just all just fun football. The only thing I could say, your Giants, we'll get into them a little bit. All I can say is, Bert, your Giants could have used a really good quarterback, a quarterback like Daniel Jones. Sports. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Stuff About Sports, presented by the Give Us a Shot Network, powered by Fast Break Coffee, and sponsored, as always, Bert, by the haters. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to the first timers, the last timers, and all the all timers, the podcast listenership, the social media ship, YouTube viewership. Please like, share, subscribe, comment. If you can't do any of that stuff, then I am fully inclined to believe you're a hater. Bert, I mean, what more could we ask for? I mean, we had new faces in new places. We had defending champions. We had all-time historic performances, an all-time comeback. And then, I mean, it just, what a wonderful, wonderful week one return of the NFL. How'd you absorb all that?
Oh, I mean, the same thing that you just said, right? I mean, kickoff of a Thursday night game that was more competitive than we thought it was going to be, followed up with Friday night football, which should be a fucking thing week in and week out, by the way. And getting to watch Justin Herbert put on an absolute clinic game one to show everybody, stop sleeping on me. Stop sleeping on this team. And then rolling into the weekend. And I don't think, and look, I know the Monday night game is about to go off or just recently went off. You couldn't have asked for a better nightcap than what happened last night with the Bills and Ravens. Unbelievable game. It's what you want in week one. It's what you want every week, but this is how you kick off a football weekend.
Full disclosure. I, much like the 25,000 fans that reportedly left with a few minutes left into the game when the Ravens were up 40-25.
Yeah.
I went to bed. I had enough.
Oh, dude,
I thought it was over.
I woke up and was like, what?
Now, I know as a Bills fan, I shouldn't admit that, but I am a man of high moral fiber and integrity, so I am not scared to admit. But here's what you guys are missing, okay? I love my team so much that I'm willing to sacrifice not watching them possibly create the greatest comeback we've ever seen in NFL history. I was content and confident enough in the abilities of Josh Allen, he who was created on the 8th day by God himself, Josh Allen, to lead the Buffalo Bills against Lamar Jackson, who, other than Josh Allen, probably couldn't do anything what we've watched that quarterback do last night. And to watch a team where very clearly 99% of that game was the better team and is the better team. The problem is Josh Allen is better than anything else they got. And he by himself put on the cape. And so it was nice. It was a great feeling for a Bills fan. And we'll get to all that later. But first, we must update the bucket of doom. Bert, we have everybody won last week. Corey is still playing because he has the Bears, and the Bears are currently playing the Minnesota Vikings. Caleb Williams looking pretty good. The Bears offense looking pretty good. So JJ McCarthy's not. I mean, he's a rookie. You know, he's a rookie guy, and he's got a lot to figure out. So we'll see what happens there. But everybody won except Ty, and Corey is to be determined. So let's get to the week 2 picks. Bert's up first. Bert, the Buffalo Bills.
Got to roll with it.
Yeah, come on now. Looking like possibly the best team, possibly in the NFL, but we'll see.
Well, they
Might
didn't.
be.
They didn't for a good part of that
Yeah,
game.
for the good part of the game. Yeah, that's true. They still put up they still put up 40 points.
Listen, they're a good team. Yeah.
Corey, the Kansas City Chiefs. Man, 2 good draws in a row. It's nice. Here's where I fuck it up.
Dwayne Marcus?
No, Dwayne Marcus. Yeah, that's right. Dwayne Marcus is first. Washington racial slurs.
Okay.
Me. The Philadelphia Eagles. I will be a hypocrite. I might put them back. Just
take them against the Chiefs.
Is it the Chiefs? They're facing the Chiefs this week?
Yeah.
We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
Just to stick it in Eagles fans because I've been shitting on them for the past month and a half. I might keep them just out of spite. Mike, the Detroit Lions. Ooh, we'll get to them too in a second.
Oh, did we skip Carl?
Oh, Carl's the Detroit Lions. Sorry, Mike. I'm sorry. Carl's the Detroit Lions. Mike is the Arizona Cardinals. Ooh, I probably won't talk about them on the show today, but not terrible looking. Not bad.
No.
And then Ty, the Green Bay Packers, who looked really good.
They look flawless. They really do.
I mean, that's so. Me going against Corey is actually fun for the show.
100%.
Probably will keep the Eagles off of that. We will text Dwayne Marcus that he picked the racial slurs in the bucket of doom and see what he says. Want to keep it or throw it back? And we'll see what he wants to do in the BOD. And then if anybody from the show, from the network wants to throw theirs back, we will do that throughout the course. Oh, Dwayne Marcus already said toss it. So we are tossing the Washington racial slurs. Oh, I think he says out of loyalty to his team. I guess Washington is playing Green Bay this week. So
are they? I think they are.
So
they are.
He has the Minnesota Vikings now. So not tonight's game, not against the Bears, but next week, whoever they play next week. So we'll see. We'll see who he has. So those are the Bucket of Doom week 2 picks. Let's go and recap week 1, Bert, the good, the bad, the fugly. Where would you like to begin?
Got to begin at the good, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm just updating Vikings, right? You said?
Yep. Vikings for Dwayne Marcus.
All right, Charm. Look, in an action-packed weekend, you can't find more good than quarterbacks getting a second and some even a third chance, because we had 2 fuck you games. One noticeably a huge fuck you game, which is probably going to take the biggest good, only because I'm going to mention Daniel Jones really quick. Honorable mention for Daniel Jones. Mm-hmm. Granted, I'm giving him a partial good because, spoiler alert for my fugly, the fish are there. But Daniel Jones out there slinging them like he's Peyton Manning. Like he may as well just be wearing 1-8 out there for the Colts. Plain and simple.
Yeah.
And why was it huge? Because he's coming out of a New York team where arguably for 6 years he couldn't get it going. Some blame the offensive line. Some blame the play calling. I blame everything in between. Now, let's move on to my really good, which I know is going to piss everybody off, including myself. And I actually hate myself for this take. But Jets fans, Jets organization, and anybody that dons that awful fucking green, either for fun or getting paid for it, you had the opportunity to make Aaron Rodgers look like the bum we all wanted him to look like. You had the opportunity to smack him across the face and say, it wasn't us. It wasn't our organization. It wasn't New York. It was you the entire time. But what'd you do, you choke artist? You did what Jet fans do, or Jets do best, and just completely ruined everything. You choked at the last minute letting him into victory, making him look like he was the one that was wronged in all of this. Essentially, you looked at Aaron Rodgers and said, here's your excuse for vindication. There you go and use it. And then for him to almost have a walk-off presser and say that he's glad he beat anybody associated with the Jets is just a chef's kiss. And that's why we're turning evil into good this week, because the good has to go to Aaron Rodgers, showing that his thrice coming of a football career might be the best one yet. Has he found his groove with a new coach? I don't know. It is week 1, but my God, to do it against his former team that he arguably just blew up along the way is just, it's perfect. What more could you, and it could only happen to the New York Jets, plain and simple.
Goddamn Jets. Yeah, it's says one positive about the Jets though is Justin Fields' performance.
100%.
Absolutely. 100% Justin Fields deserves all. He's had a tough time in his career so far, dealing with Chicago, kind of those expectations. But I mean, overall, the Jets, yes, they lost, but overall, I think the Jets played pretty well, and we're going to get to them later.
Yep.
I think the offense looked as good as it has since Craig Eubanks. Like, I'm talking like pre-Rex Ryan. Like, I'm talking like way back in the day. I think the offense looked fairly good, and I know that the defense is the defense will always be good. The defense is just one of those teams that always he said he's not a bum. Stop. He's Aaron Rodgers is
listen, if you're not going to tell me you watched the past season of Aaron Rodgers and didn't think it was time for him to hang it up. I mean, he was entering bum territory here because he had one good game so far this year. And look, I'm giving him his credit, but I mean, what he did with the Jets, it was a lot of garbage time. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Aaron Rodgers, I think that's as good as he's looked since he's left Green Bay. I think he looked, I think that's probably the best game he's played since then. And if you're a Steeler, this is perfect. Like, this to me puts the Steelers back in the AFC contention. Maybe not like favorites, but contention of, if the Steelers make it to, let's say, the Eastern semis, or the the AFC semis, I would not be shocked. Like, that's because I think Aaron Rodgers is that good to elevate a team that is ready. The Jets clearly weren't ready. Does he think this is Mike Tomlin's last season with the Steelers if he doesn't get this team to at least? No. You can't fire a coach that's never had a losing season. And as much as Steelers fans don't want to hear it, unless there is somebody like head and shoulders, this is the Bills' problem. I'm not happy with Sean McDermott's overall situational football coaching, but we're never going to get rid of a guy who has had the success that Sean McDermott has had in terms of winning games. Unless, again, somebody just comes out of nowhere and wants to go coach the Bills. I feel the same way about Mike Tomlin and the Steelers. Unless there's somebody that comes up and just is leaps and shoulders better than Mike Tomlin, which I don't see that right now, then probably not. Like, if a Ben Johnson was interested in the Steelers, maybe. If there was some other, but other than that, like, a lot of this coaching stuff is a crapshoot. So there is a, beware the grass maybe not be greener on the other side. But like, unless there's somebody that just comes out of nowhere, I don't see Mike Tomlin unless they have like a trash season. Unless but it looked pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. It looked pretty good from that perspective. My good, obvious, it was the Chargers. I had to rewrite it after last night.
Did you really?
Yeah. So OLI Chargers beating the. Like, it opens up a lot of doors, and we'll get to that in a little bit too. But how can it not be the Buffalo Bills? I mean, how could the good not be the Buffalo Bills with that kind of comeback? And then with the reigning, defending, undisputed Mr. Steinfeld, whatever her last name is, Haley Steinfeld.
Steinfeld, yeah.
Dog, Josh Allen, 394, 4 touchdowns, no turnovers, already plus 350 to win MVP. Nobody, and I mean nobody, can do what Josh Allen did last night. That was all him, dog. And then
so he forced that fumble.
I was okay. I got it. Let me slow down.
Yeah.
Let me calm down. You're right. You're right. Let me slow it down for a second. Shout out to Ed Oliver, because in reality, yes, Josh Allen to me was the catalyst. But if it wasn't for Ed Oliver, who is probably, if I didn't name Josh Allen, Ed Oliver would be the MVP of last night, right? Of that game. Like, yes, the Bills gave up 40 points. That sucks. But Ed Oliver, not just the forced fumble on Derrick Henry of all people, he had 6 solo tackles that game, 3 of them for a loss. He had a forced fumble with Derrick Henry, as I mentioned, and a sack of his own. Ed Oliver was the difference for the defense. He kept that defense steady and ready to make big plays, and the Bills were just good enough. Luckily, the defense made the timely turnover, and then Josh Allen's greatness was able to keep them in the game where that turnover could matter. So if I had to, Josh Allen and Ed Oliver are 1A and 1B in terms of importance of last night and who gets, like, the gold medal for the night for me on the good side.
Yeah.
Raincloud says,
Raincloud coming in with probably one of the best takes since last season too. Go ahead.
Yeah. Where's the people that have been saying Josh Allen got the pity MVP? He proved why he was the MVP last season. Hold on. Round of applause for Raincloud. Because that.
And then instantly compare the likes of Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen, particularly last season too. It's like, it wasn't, I mean, we all know this collectively. He had MVP. If you want to call it, that's ridiculous, because this wasn't a dominant Lamar Jackson game last night. This was a Derrick Henry show.
For sure.
And sorry, you're going to petition for Lamar Jackson in the season he had last year, albeit not bad, MVP contender, but Josh Allen showed why he deserved that MVP, especially last night, thrown for almost 400. Insane. With that being said, Germ, we've talked about this before. He can't keep dropping back that much. He can't. Gotta be a better game plan. It's week 1. Drop back 46 times. We can't keep doing this, guys.
Also, you got to go for it on 4th and 3, whatever it ended up being when you completed that 3rd and 9. Yeah, it was 3rd and 9, and you fell short. You had 3 yards. The Bills weren't stopping Derrick Henry all night. Like, you put the ball, like, everything lives and dies with that team, and you have to put the ball in Derrick Henry's hands, not give the ball back to Josh Allen. That was tough, man. That was a tough call. I would have went for it based on how the game was going up until then. You know what I mean? Like, they weren't stopping the run. The Bills weren't. Like, the line. Everybody was slow.
It didn't look like anything was going to stop Derrick Henry last night, man. He was mowing through guys. He had 18 carries and finished with almost 170. Insane.
That guy is unreal. And again, he took the blame for the fumble, and as he should, because he's a leader. But it's hard to say. I mean, yes, literally they lost the game because of Derrick Henry. But it's hard to say that too. Like, that game was only the way it was because of Derrick Henry. So it's kind of hard to, shit on him when he was a large part of that pie for that team all night. So it's just unfortunate for the Ravens. They'll be fine. Like, they're still going to be in it. The Bills and Ravens more than likely are gonna meet each other later on. Shout out to Keon Coleman, came out of nowhere. Bert, I was saying this. There's a lot of chatter about how Keon Coleman bulked up, worked on his speed, worked on his route running, completely different player. And it showed in this game. So physical, getting separation, dominating man coverage. That's the player that the Bills traded with Kansas City so they could have Xavier Worthy, who ironically got knocked out by Travis Kelce and dislocated his shoulder. And traded down to get from Florida State. The rookie year was up and down. There was some flashes, but mostly a letdown, I think, based on what happened. But this year, he looks poised to take that step that they've been hoping for. So shout out to Keon Coleman. Shout out to Josh Palmer. A lot of laughing, a lot of snickering up there in the nosebleeds when the Bills were like, "Oh, look at the acquisition of the offseason for the Bills, Josh Palmer." All right, y'all. If it wasn't for Josh Palmer setting up that drive, I mean, that the Bills have this everybody eats philosophy, and it was shown. Dawson Knox, Dalton Kincaid, even the third tight end that caught that pass right at the goal line at the end. That's a big spot for a rookie tight end. I mean, that doesn't get talked about enough. So the good all the way around.
Everyone plays a part, man. Everyone plays a part.
And that's how the Bills been doing it. Did you lump your bad in with your good, or were you just shitting on the Jets just because?
No, just because
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, I
fun, to
feel
be
you. I
honest
feel
with
you.
you.
Yeah.
Also, I need something to mask the pain for my actual bad, which, homer alert, is my Giants. I
Yeah.
mean,
Just,
moving right into it. And look, it's fun. It's so funny because I texted a friend, he's a Jet fan, and we were texting about like hockey season's coming up. We're both Ranger fans. We were texting about some Ranger stuff. And then it's like, you know what? I'll resume this conversation as soon as both of our teams let us down. And sure as shit that they did. His more excited of a letdown than mine because the Giants seem to have picked up right where they left off last season. Didn't
yeah.
matter that they signed 4 quarterbacks within a matter of 3 months. It didn't matter that Daniel Jones is out and Brian Daboll is feeling comfortable with a veteran QB there and the play calling. They did not look as though they had a good camp, that they were in sync, that they were ready for week 1. Now, I'm cutting them some slack because they did go up against a very good Commanders team, both offensively
Mhm.
and defensively. However, I'd be remiss if I didn't notice the struggles mainly at the QB position, which has been one of the hottest topics for us in the past 2-3 years now, right? It's always our QBs don't have enough time. The O line isn't doing their job. The pocket's collapsing before they can get it off. And here we are again. I mean, Russ dropped back well over 30 times, only got 17 completed.
Mm.
Throwing wise, I think finished for just over 150. Yeah, he had legs, but it was basically out of desperation. You have Malik Neighbors visibly frustrated at the play calling, going back to Dable on the sidelines. What are we doing? This is week 1 here.
Mhm.
Granted, I understand temperatures run hot, especially in a game. But this like that type of back and forth, I don't want to see that week 1.
Yeah.
I want to get into a groove here. Dable seems to have gotten into a groove as well. But when you're all star coming off of a rookie season and number 1, wideout wants the ball. I mean, fuck, get him the ball, call a play, and then make sure
Yeah.
your quarterback can deliver. And then you have Dable in the press conference saying he's not committing to a week 2 quarterback, but then following it up later on by saying he's not completely done with Russ back there and he's going to give him another shot. Like, guys, I cannot do this QB controversy. Either you roll with Russ or you give Jackson Dart the ball and develop him as the quarterback he should be. He earned that position as backup. So let's please do something about it. Is
Yeah.
this an overreaction? Of course it is. It's week 1, but it's what we do here at Stuff About Sports. But for me, the bad has to go for the Giants. Like they have to show something different especially after unloading Danny Dimes and then watching him and the performance he had on Sunday too.
Yeah. Daniel Jones isn't going to get talked about a lot this season unless the Colts continue to play the way they did against the Dolphins. But and we're going to get to them in a second. But Daniel Jones definitely deserves some credit. I said it in the open. The Giants could have used the quarterback a lot like Daniel Jones. I'll tell you that.
Yep.
It looked bad. Malik Neighbors, your best player, the guy who you drafted. That's not the body language of somebody that you want at the first game of the season. It just didn't. It wasn't good. It begs the question: why not go to Jackson Dart at this? I mean, you drafted the guy where you drafted him. It's like, all right, man. It's just and I guess the argument will be, do you want Jackson Dart behind that offensive line? And my thing is, yeah. I mean, if he's good, they'll figure it out.
I mean, at some point, if this keeps up, they're going to throw him in there with that anyways. I mean, this has been an ongoing problem since the great Eli Manning days. It's always been an O-line issue, right? So, I mean, yeah, he's going to have to learn, and then we're going to have to make adjustments along the way. I mean, look, I want to believe in Russ. Let's see what happens in week 2. But, man, if it gets to a point, roll out Jackson Dart, and then fuck it, put Jameson too. I don't care. Like, I don't care who's getting paid the most money. If you're not going to do the job, don't play.
Raincloud says, I would still keep Russ as a starter. I wouldn't put Jackson Dart in this mess. I'd start I would start Dart in week 6 or 7. I mean, yeah, I get it, man. Like, it's not great. The team is not great. So if you believe in a rookie quarterback, you want to put him in the best possible position. So why put him in a situation where he can get killed, lose his confidence? I don't believe in that. If the kid has confidence, he'll make it work. He looked pretty damn good in the preseason. I think he's a lot farther ahead than people think, and I think he can handle it. And I mean, that's what happens when you're a bad team. Like, you're going to wait until the team is perfect for him, and then what? Like, it's I don't know. You got to see what you have. And I think you'll get the learning curve of, the offensive line is bad, but this is what he's able, because that's part of the game. I need to know what you're able to do in chaos. Anybody can look good with the perfect situation. I need to know what you can do when like shit isn't as at its best, and see what it is. Neighbors is terrible. Yeah, it's not the body language you want from somebody who's supposed to be the leader. But you're a Giants fan, Bert. I mean, you tell me, like, do you side with Neighbors acting like that, or is it like,
No. So
yeah,
yeah, I understand his frustration, and there's a part of me that gets it, right? He's a competitor, so I want to cut him slack there. But a part of me thinks like, listen, it's week one, you're a professional. I can't stand, and maybe Germans, maybe we're the same age range. Maybe it's how we grew up and playing sports too. It's like, hey,
mhm,
you want to fix it, fix it. Like get with your QB, then get with the coach on the sidelines and go from there. But it's a different day and age with these players. They want the ball. They're going to let them know how they feel in hopes that it sparks something overall. Now it was squashed. Neighbors had great numbers last year. So
right.
I'm hoping for the same production level. And I think everybody else is expecting it. So we're hoping that they get it together this week and come back out next and honestly fix a lot of the issues that we had. Again, look, they were going up against a good Commanders team. You know, this was a sleeper last year. And honestly, I think a lot of individuals are holding them to the same high standard of being a competitor, not just for, NFC championship overall, but even the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. What's your Oh, did I get my bad? I can't remember if I did my
I
bad.
don't think so. No,
No. I did not get my bad. My bad, Detroit Lions.
oof,
And
I
it's
almost went
really,
there.
yeah, and it's the Detroit Lions, really the coaching staff.
Hmm.
Um, it was always going to be an adjustment period. So, and I'm saying this by also giving the Green Bay the credit they deserve for the performance. However, Detroit's new coordinators replacing the ones that left seem to struggle a little bit. I mean, the defense gave up 17 points in the first 3 drives on the field. Like
Yeah.
that's like it was the absence of Aaron Glenn was immediate, right? And then it doesn't help that the Packers added Micah Parsons, and the pass rush for the Packers just like it was like a tornado. Like there was nothing Detroit offensively could really do.
Yeah.
And I don't know if this is a Detroit offensive line problem, but I mean, they sacked Goff like 4 or 5 times that game. And then because the pass rush got there, they didn't have an offensive genius that could make adjustments on the fly like Ben Johnson, where they could kind of compensate for that. So I get it, man. You're losing these coordinators. That's the name of the game. It's probably going to take a few weeks for the new defensive and offensive coordinator to kind of get a feel for their new role, but they better figure it out pretty fast because the AFC North is, I mean, Green Bay looks like they're going to run away with it. If the Packers, I mean
The NFC North.
NFC North. I'm sorry, the
Mhm.
NFC North because the Vikings and the Bears are playing each other. They seem pretty evenly matched from based on the like glances I'm getting.
Yeah.
But if Detroit could fall behind fair, but they both look good, and Detroit could fall behind fairly quickly. So Jared Goff needs everything to go right for him to succeed. He's not good in the blitz, and he can't create out of the pocket. Yeah, I mean, but we've talked about it many times before. Like it is the front office's job to kind of compensate for your quarterback's weaknesses and adjust for their strengths. Clearly, the Lions have done that with Jared Goff because he's been one of the 5 best quarterbacks at any given year since he's
Mhm.
been there. But they're adjusting now. It's hard to change coaching staffs. It wasn't gonna be a seamless transition. Is this a bad game or is this a sign of what's to come? I mean, we'll find out in the next few weeks here for
That's where
Detroit.
week 2 comes in, right? And specifically for this. And look, we love the overreactions right now. It's what we're here for. It's why we're here on a Monday night. But you know, the reason I didn't put this as my bad or even fugly is because I do want to give almost more credit to Green Bay, not just for how they controlled the game, but you figure the momentum swing they had from getting Parsons all the way through and he made a difference in the game. He 100% did. It's
Yeah.
home field advantage too, but we can't ignore what you mentioned, which is the coaching decisions from Detroit. And what we got to keep in mind is for the past 2 years running now, I mean, this is a Detroit team that we almost expect to see in an NFC championship game in one way, shape, or form. So yeah, look, for us, it's wild. As fans of Dan Campbell, this is something that needs to be addressed and fixed, and we'll see what happens in week 2.
Yeah, and I'm not off the Dan Campbell train. Don't get it twisted. I just It just was a bad game. I don't know how else to really explain it for Detroit other than just kind of look at the tape and see what happens in week 2. But I just don't. I just don't. It doesn't look good. Packers are not that good. Neither are the Lions. Losing both coordinators doesn't help. It's going to be rough for the Lions. Packers need a QB still. He's hot and then he's cold. I don't know if I agree with that. I think Jordan Love is widely considered as one of a pretty good quarterback.
I think he's consistent, right? Yeah. And I think with the signing of Parsons, I mean, their defense is now, I think, up to elite status. But hey, man, I mean, we've seen weirder stuff happen throughout the season. So
I think we both have the same fugly. It's the Miami Dolphins.
It's god awful, the Dolphins. My goodness.
Bert, so I don't even want to get into it. Like, they let Daniel Jones I think it's the first time in NFL history a team with like more than 6 or 7 possessions have scored on every drive. That's Danny Dimes doing that. That was Daniel Dimes
Daniel
Esquire.
Jones Esquire. Yes. Yeah.
Holy shit. I mean, and Bert, we said it last week. The Colts roster is pretty good.
Yeah.
If Shane Steichen can get a competent quarterback play out of Daniel Jones, the Colts are going to be okay. I'm not, and so what we saw though, I mean, it's probably more so the Dolphins' ineptitude, but the Colts looked really good. And if you're a good team, you beat the shit out of bad teams. And the Colts did that to the Dolphins. And so I don't know what you think about that, but let me ask you a question. Is it time to blow the Dolphins up? Is it time? Are we done with this nerd, Mike McDaniel?
Are we sick of this guy? If you asked Dolphin fans last year, they would have told you yes. And I think it goes back to who's throwing the ball. I mean, you have really good receivers, but McDaniels is great year 1. Year 2, I don't know, but that was the year I think also that Tua got his brain mushed in. Yeah. And you figure you have a great opportunity to come out, show everybody you're a competitive team as you have been in the years past, particularly in your division, because who else you have to worry about? Of course, maybe the Jets now, but I mean, and the Bills, the Patriots shouldn't be on that same level, but this performance was abysmal to the point where it's honestly borderline laughable. The fact that they couldn't get or really generate any offense until late in the game. And I think it does just go back. We can blame play calling. We can blame coaching. I think it's who you surrounded your team around, which, I mean, they thought Tua was the future, and that's what they decided to roll with year in and year out. So to your point about blowing them up, honestly, I'd give it, if we see this repeat up until week 5, I would not be surprised if there's an absolute fire sale.
I mean, the problem with Mike McDaniel is that when you're eccentric the way he is, and Raincloud says, do y'all think Mike McDaniel's a bad coach, or Tua is just that bad? Tua is below average at best.
I think both can be correct. Yeah.
Both are correct. Like, when you're touted as Mike McDaniel, offensive guru, scheme genius of the San Francisco 49ers, you come to Miami and hasn't, had some pretty, started off pretty hot, but they haven't won a playoff game yet. So no real success, nothing meaningful other than making them relevant. But that message, the way you act, the way you are, the weird press conferences, it wears thin on people when you're not winning. And then you're Tua, who, as you mentioned, has some of the brain stuff and he was 14 for 23. Only threw for 114 and 1 touchdown. He had 2 interceptions. He lost a fumble, another turnover, multiple turnovers. And this wasn't just this game. The last time we saw him, he was doing this. So it's just a bad performance overall. And you throw 2 picks and you lose a fumble. It's not good. It's not a good game. And I don't want to put it all on Tua, but because the Dolphins defense wasn't good either. Daniel Jones, he looked like Peyton Manning out there. I thought it was Peyton, like you said earlier. I thought there was an 18. His name was 17. I thought Josh Allen played for the Colts yesterday. That's how good he was. I said, holy shit, Josh Allen's playing the Dolphins? I thought no, it's Danny Dimes. He got his name back. It was great. It was great to see. I'm happy for Danny. I know you are a little jaded, just because of the history.
Jealous, really, of how that type of quarterback should work with a team, So
imagine that you go to a different situation and the pressure is a little different. And Tyreek Hill didn't have a lot of good things to say about it. That shit's probably over with now. Tyreek Hill probably just needs to go. I think this is another situation with the Bills when they got rid of Stephon, like addition by subtraction. I think getting rid of Tyreek and everything that comes with him is probably the best thing if you're going to keep that Mike McDaniel too and the rest and what's going on together. Maybe getting rid of Tyreek right now. A team like the Chiefs, maybe get him back to the Chiefs, but a team that feels like they're about this close to a Super Bowl or they're one of the contenders that could use Tyreek might give you a little bit more than a team that doesn't really have nothing else going on. Maybe you could take advantage of something like that and get something meaningful for him. But he's starting to become a distraction, I think, for them. And it'd probably be in their best interest just to get rid of him. And Tyreek, he left winning Super Bowls or playing in Super Bowls to go to Miami for a little bit more money and no tax to not win a playoff game. Like, that's got to be the all-time, like, you dribble and shoot in life and you miss. And he missed big time. And I'm not saying, hey, don't take a chance on yourself. Don't bet on yourself. Don't do this. Don't do that. But this is the other side of that, man. It could backfire big time. And I think Tyreek's going to ask for a trade midseason. He's available. No, because
no Bills.
We don't need him. We don't. I mean, it sounds funny to say. Where is he going to play? He plays the same position as Khalil Shakir. Khalil Shakir has been better than Tyreek Hill in recent years. So he's not going to take
a fault of who's throwing to him.
No, but I don't want to sacrifice the chemistry of the team for a diva receiver. Period. And
what if you give up minimal to get him?
Sure. Like minimal. If I'm doing the Tank Bigsby thing, right? If I'm just giving you like a 5th and 6th pick, like the Eagles just did for Tank Bigsby, well, how much more help does Jalen Hurts need? Gosh. It's then yeah. I mean, I personally don't want the headache of Tyreek Hill. I've seen that story. I'm happy enough with what we have. I've already seen what the Bills have tried to do with a receiver of that cloth with Stephon Diggs. I already know how that story ends. I know how it ends with Tyreek. We already seen it. Things are fine when nobody knows who you are. And we're going to look at the beginning of the Chiefs run and think of Tyreek Hill that way, but not everything after. What led to him even leaving KC, right? And then how he acted. That's the Tyreek we're getting. We're not getting humble before the contract Tyreek. We would be getting 26 baby mothers Tyreek, getting arrested in front of the stadium Tyreek, racing I Show Speed on YouTube before a game Tyreek. Like I don't want that. We don't need that. That's not Buffalo. So I would say hard no on Tyreek. The juice ain't worth the squeeze to me. I think we're perfect. Like what he offers isn't that much better than what we already have at this point of his career. I'm not saying he can't help somebody, but I think I'm good. I'm good with Tyreek. Ray, we saw what happened with Josh and a diva receiver like Diggs. Yeah, we did that with Amari Cooper too, and he just didn't fit, right? We tried, and then he got to Las Vegas and then quit. Just said, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to retire. Like I don't want any of that. We don't need any of that. I'm good with where we're at. If Josh Allen can win the MVP with Mac Hollins, I don't think we need to go out there and get a Tyreek Hill. I think we're perfectly fine with decent receivers. As we saw last night, the Bills schedule this season is, I think we have the second easiest schedule going forward. I think the Ravens were our hardest, and then we get the Chiefs later on, and we'll see about the Chiefs. I don't know. The Chiefs may not be who we thought they were. So it's going to be interesting to kind of see what happens with them. All right, Bert, let's run through some. That was long. Let's run through some of these NFL questions. Bigger win, Bills or Chargers?
Bills. I have to say, I mean, the Chargers was a huge win, right? Against Kansas City. Justin Herbert looking immaculate, but I have to go with the Bills. If we're looking at total team, the Chargers always controlled the pace of the game to a certain extent, and it was hard battle fought back and forth. But like the Bills were, under 5 to go, they were down 40 to 23 or 25, and to have that comeback, that is arguably the bigger team win.
I'm going to go with the Chargers. I think the Bills have already beaten the Ravens in the playoffs multiple times, right? And so winning, yes, we're going to look at the comeback and say, man, that was amazing. And it was. However, in the scheme of it, in the larger picture of it, it didn't really mean anything because we've already proven that we can stand with the Ravens. This is a much bigger win for the Chargers because this is a signal that with Jim Harbaugh leading and finally coaching Justin Herbert, the Chargers can now effectively say, hey, we're on par with the team that has been dominating our division for a long time. One of the favorites of the NFL, the Kansas City Chiefs, who are showing cracks in the armor. The Chiefs can say that, hey, we've arrived. We actually do belong. And the AFC West is, for the first time in a long time, to me, wide open. So I think the Chargers had a bigger win than the Bills did, considering also it was a division game. So that also helps. Better loss, Cowboys or Jets?
Cowboys had the better loss.
Think so.
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, we could talk about it all day. You lose Parsons, everybody writes you off as being like defensively in shambles. You now are going opening game of the NFL season against the defending champions, division rival. Take your pick. And for them to stay in the game as long as they did and even have a pretty good defensive showing. So it's either the Cowboys aren't packed and folded like we thought they were going to be, or the Eagles are much worse than they were last year. It's got to be one or the other. So in this, I mean, look, the Jets were competitive. It was an exciting game up until the end. It's like looking at the Bills and the Ravens. Neither of them played a bad game. There had to be a winner. There had to be a loser. With the Cowboys, they were the better loser because I think everybody wrote off from an expectation standpoint from the start.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you for the reasons we spoke about last week. Like the Cowboys had a lot more to prove to see if they could hang. They proved they could hang. And honestly, if it wasn't for CeeDee Lamb, they probably would have won that game. CeeDee Lamb dropped 3 crucial, really big drops that actually impacted the game heavily. So I'd tend to agree with you that it's definitely the Cowboys had a better loss. More likely to miss the playoffs. 2 playoff teams last year that looked awful. Opening up this season between the Detroit Lions and then the Houston Texans losing to the Rams 14-9. So out of the 2 teams, who's more likely to miss the playoffs this year, Bert?
I mean, you can flip a coin between the 2 performances. However, I'm inclined to lean more towards the Texans. To me, I just think the Packers were a better opponent, especially defensively, to understand the struggles. It's week 1. So not to say that the Rams aren't a competitor, but I mean, for me, if I'm looking between the Rams or the Packers, I think the Rams are a more competitive team. So I'm willing to cut Detroit more slack. But needless to say, I mean, honestly, if you blindfolded me, flipped a coin, and turned me around 3 times, it honestly would not matter either one at this point.
Yeah, I wanted to say the Texans, but the only in their offensive line is a mess. I'm not really enthralled. Joe Mixon will be back, I think, once we get the full team. And I know they were missing their best offensive lineman yesterday to injury. I'm willing, because of the division they're in, that AFC South, I'm going to give them a puncher's chance. I'm going to say the Lions, even though I still think they're elite. I think this was just a bad game. I trust what I've seen these last couple of years. I trust Dan Campbell. The problem is their division is super competitive. And this could be a situation where math kind of gets them. This is not a game they probably wanted to lose here against a division rival. So I'm going to go with the Lions here. Raincloud says he went with the Chargers too, because that was the first time he's seen Justin Herbert finally take over a game. Justin Herbert finally running out of the pocket and not being robotic. Yeah, and that's a direct result of coaching, right? That right there, he looked like a completely different player. The player that he was billed as, the player that we all thought he could be, and we're finally seeing it. Bert, fair or foul? We answered this kind of earlier. The Miami Dolphins should blow it up. Fair, right?
Yep, fair. Give it 3 weeks.
Fair or foul? The Giants should start Jackson Dart right now. Even though we already got the answer. We wrote this
kind of
before
discussed
we got
this. Yeah, I mean, I will say fair in the immediate. However, 2 weeks down the line, if we're getting the same result, he should start. Ask me that. Make a note. We'll go over this in 2 weeks.
Yeah. I'll say foul. The team's awful, and I like Jackson Dart, and I don't want to expose him to the trash that's the New York Giants offensive line. So I'll say foul. Fair or foul? The Packers are the best team in the NFC.
I'm going to say foul. I mean, they played a good game. I can't call them the best team in the NFC at this point. Commanders played a good game. Eagles are still there. I mean, shit, we just praised the Cowboys for God's sake. I mean, they had a really good game at home against a Detroit team that was clearly struggling offensively and defensively. Like, look, they're good, but I'm not going to call them the best. Dwayne Marcus is losing his shit right now. I know that.
Oh, I know. I'm going to say fair.
Of course you would. You fucking would.
I mean, I wasn't that impressed by the Eagles. Like, I just wasn't. Like,
you never are. You never
are. I'm impressed by Saquon. I'm impressed by the Eagles defense. I gave the Eagles defense more credit for winning that Super Bowl than anybody else out there. I said without blitzing, I was the only one talking defensive line play out of the Super Bowl. I gave the Eagles plenty of credit. The problem is, you troglodytes want me to give one person credit, and I'm not. I'm not going to give it. Matter of fact, the best player on the Eagles, I'll give him the credit. Saquon Barkley, good job, man. It's fantastic. Good on you. The Packers defense looked better than the Eagles defense. I mean, and that's against one of the most elite offenses. The Lions offense was elite all season last year. So let's not act like that. You want to talk about the coach all you want. The players are still out there. So the defense looked elite against one of the most elite offenses that was more elite than the Eagles offense last year. The offense looks pretty good. Those receivers that the Packers have, underrated. And so the whole package looked better. Their win looked better, more convincing against a powerhouse team the last couple years versus the Eagles team that, it was both were division games, so you can't even use that. But the Cowboys, which we already said, self-proclaimed soap opera mess. So all of a sudden we got to give the Eagles credit for beating Dallas, a team that we had zero idea what they were going to be. Like, we weren't expecting shit from Dallas. Like, the reason why the Packers game is more impactful is because the Lions feel like more of a letdown. So 100%. The best team right now. I think
we'll know for sure. I mean, the Commanders Packers this weekend. So, I mean, if there's any test to what the strength is in the NFC, particularly between those two teams, we'll see. Was it just a Detroit Packers thing? Packers at home? No, Packers are at home again this week too, but let's see what happens when Jane Daniels and co comes in.
Fair or foul? The AFC West is now wide open.
I'll call it fair. Why not?
Yeah. I mean, we talked about this a little bit last week. The gap between the Chiefs and everybody else is a lot smaller because it's not just the Chargers. The Raiders looked pretty good. Denver's run game. I mean, Bo Nix struggled a little bit, but he got it together. The run game specifically looked really good, and the defense looked really good. You can't put the Chiefs' name as AFC West champions in permanent marker.
No.
Let's put it in pen. Let's do that. I'm not going to say full on pencil. That can be erased. I'm going to give them some respect. It's only week 1. Let me relax, see what happens. But it's no longer a permanent marker. It's definitely in pen now. So we'll see. A little bit lighter, not as bold, but still pretty safe and pretty confident. But that can quickly change if the next week or two, if teams like the Raiders and the Broncos and the Chargers specifically continue to play the way they've been playing. Take a picture of it now. The AFC West, the only team that hasn't won is the Chiefs at the bottom of the AFC West.
Yeah.
So obviously that's not going to last long. But this feels more wide open than it has in past years. Bert, do you have a game ball you want to give out?
Honestly, I did not have one. I didn't give it one last week. So my game ball that I was going to give last week, I'm carrying it over to this week. This is my first full show back. Last week was a little hop on for me and Germ just to get reacquainted after having some health things come up and being out for the better part of 2 months. My game ball goes to you, Germ, and everybody else at the network that helped keep this thing afloat. All the guests that stopped in as well is what I'm going to do this week. Give you my game ball. Selfishly wanted to give it to me for drafting some pretty good fantasy teams this year, but I thought that, a little too selfish. But no, I'm kidding. No, but thank you. Game ball goes to you for keeping this thing going and I absolutely love you.
I love you too, brother. It is a team effort. I deserve no credit. I just did with any do. My game ball goes to you for reasons that you know. I'm going to get into it here, but you get my lifetime game ball. I have to check to see before we get out of here. Of course, my ESPN fantasy is logged out. I wanted to see if I snuck in and beat Corey. I needed between DeAndre Swift and DJ Moore tonight. I need like 20 something points to beat him. So it's actually looking pretty good. I actually should be for the network, for the podcast. I don't want the Bears to do well. However, for the Give Us a Shot Network Fantasy Football League, I really need the Bears to do well. So I'm kind of torn.
Yeah, you're
at.
beating him. You got him by 20 points, and I don't think he has anybody going right now. Oh, he's got DJ Moore going. You're all right.
I'm all right. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So, that's right. He had DJ Moore. I'm thinking of a different league. I'm thinking of my work league. Anyway, so my game ball going to Josh Allen just because he's the MVP and everybody wanted to shit on him, and he just played amazing. I mean, I've tugged on Josh Allen all night. You know what? Fuck it. I'm changing my game ball. My game ball's going to Daniel Jones. Josh Allen Jr. Hold on. Let me get my set before. Josh Allen Jr. Vanilla Vic.
What else?
White
what else
Lightning.
What? Mm-hmm.
What's the horse? Black Beauty. He's White Beauty because he's the Colt now. You get it? Yeah.
I got you. Yeah.
I don't have any more because they're coming on the fly, but yeah, you get it. Daniel Jones. Shout out to you. Thanks for everybody for chiming in. Thank you. Please like and subscribe. Follow our channel. Follow us on Instagram at Stuff About Sports. Me and Bert will be back at you. Well, this week you'll see me in Philly with Mike and Ty and them at the Mets-Phillies game for September 11th. The week after that, me and Bert will pick a day. You'll see us next week as we go over week 2 in the NFL. Please take care of each other. Be safe out there. Stay off of buses, man. Every time I turn on the news, there's some fucking bus shit going on. It's sad. It's really sad. So thoughts, prayers, condolences to everybody who's had to deal with that type of shit. But damn, I hate to hit on the sour note. That's terrible. I hate when I do that shit. Fuck. Stop letting me do that. Whoever's on that bus, we'll see you in hell. Art Briles. Fuck it. I don't know.